Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to focus a little more on taking it down a notch and working on self-care and restoration. I've heard from quite a few people who are either not working out and need something to ease back into it, or have been working out quite a bit and just need a day to just take it down a notch. Sometimes if we have sore muscles from working on our computer too much or looking at our phone too much, working out a lot, or from shoveling last week, or just day-to-day life, sore muscles are a thing. So first we're just going to get some movement in to just kind of open up and start to breathe, no matter where you're coming from. If you're coming from a place of wanting to get back into it or working hard or any of those places, I just want to give you a chance to have this in your tool chest to take it down when you need to. You need to recognize when we need a little self-care and a little guidance and a little love for our bodies. So I've got a bunch of tools that I'm going to demonstrate later, but right now we're just going to move a little. So I don't even have shoes on for this. I'm just hanging out, ready to just kind of move. So I'm just going to start reaching side to side and really think about moving. I'm not really in a squat, but my hips are back a little, and I'm just kind of swaying side to side, reaching those arms. Lots of times we get into our forward motion and our forward life, and we just need to add a little side bending and side twisting. Nothing major, nothing that's going to be bad for your back. Hopefully help open things up and start to feel good. So take some nice deep breaths. Now we're going to start reaching up. So reach up and across and notice where you feel that. If you have any areas where it feels a little extra tight, really think about those areas. Even slow it down. If you feel an area, you can stop and stretch. When we stretch like this, it really opens up our hips, so you can really feel that in your hip flexors. You can pause at any one of these places. Think about those muscles relaxing and take some deep breaths. Now I'm going to kind of go down and up, and I want to really reach up to a diagonal. Take some nice deep breaths. All right, good. Now I'm going to have you do just some knee hugs. So grab your knee, give it just a little tug. Remember, keeping those shoulders back. Good posture. Just some nice, easy, and if you have a hard time grabbing your knee like this, you can just kind of do some knee marches like this, side to step, lifting those knees, getting some movement. Now we're going to kind of add a opening. So open up your knees and open them like this. So bend them, bring it around, get some rotation in those hips, activate those glutes a little bit. Just moving around, getting our joints lubricated. There's a saying, motion is lotion. And getting our joints moving can actually make them feel better. So you might think, I can't start to exercise. My knees hurt or my hips hurt. Starting slowly, opening up, and getting that lubrication to those joints can just help you feel better. All right. Now we're going to get in some stretches. So I'm going to get this down so you can see my feet. And I want you to get into a calf stretch like this. Do this next to a counter, or have a sturdy chair available if you need to for some support. And just push your foot back. We're going to do a good calf stretch here. Now, to add to this, I want you to reach forward. As you reach forward, you should really be feeling that in your calf. One thing you want to think about is keeping those toes straight forward. So if your toes turn out like this, you're not quite getting a good calf stretch. So you want to get those toes straight forward. Push your heel into the ground. Now we're going to reach forward. Take a few deep breaths. Now, reach those arms up. So, as you reach up, you're really opening up those hips, stretching your abdominals some, really stretching out this shoulder here. Hold that. If any of you do yoga, this is a good yoga pose, but this is also just part of this series that can help open up some twisting and some areas of your hips that may not have been getting this. So now let's go back forward again. Really feel that in your calf that is pressed backwards. And now reach down. And as you reach down, you're going to kind of feel this. You might feel it stretch your hamstring a little bit more. So I'm reaching down, and my hamstring is having to really, it's getting a good stretch. My quads are engaging, helping hold me in this spot. All right, let's end with forward and up. Okay, good. Now let's do the other side. So press that foot back, get that heel into the ground, and we're gonna reach forward. Reach, thinking about pressing that heel into the ground and your toes are straight forward, getting a good stretch in those calf muscles. Now reach up, taking some nice deep breaths. If you need to, you can bend that a little, but I really want you to try to keep that heel into the ground. Nice deep breaths. Now we'll go forward again, feeling that in that back calf muscle. And now we're going to reach down. And as you reach down, you put a little more pressure onto that supporting leg. And you're going to feel a little bit of a hamstring stretch there. All right, forward and up. Good. Now, let's just do some kind of opening up breathing. So I'm going to get my camera up here a little bit. And take some nice deep breaths. So we're going to circle your arms. Breathe in as you bring them up, and out as you bring your arms down. Okay, now we're going to get back into that calf stretch position again, and we're going to do a little bit of twisting. So what I want you to do is press that calf back just like that. You can see my toes are straight forward. And we're going to push your arms out like this and twist like this. So you should feel this opening this side of your hip, pressing that back hand straight back to the wall. And this is stretching pretty much perpendicular to this supported leg. Really hold that stretch. Again, do this next to something like a counter or a chair or something where you can hang on for balance if you need to. Now we're going to switch and do the other side. So press that foot back, arms forward, and twist. I'm reaching to the back wall with my back hand, and I'm reaching across with that front hand, really getting an opening in my front hip here. Take some nice deep breaths. Notice I'm trying to keep my shoulders away from my ears during all of these. Okay, let's do those one more time. So press back, forward and to the side, reach, and now I want you to reach up and kind of diagonally. So you're really going to feel that in that hip here and across all along your side. These opening stretches are so good, especially if you've been sitting at a computer, sitting and helping homeschool, sitting and looking up things on your phone. Reach up. Okay, good. Now we're going to switch. Do the other side. Reach diagonally up towards the ceiling, really opening up those hips, taking some nice deep breaths. Okay, now let's take a good deep breath again. And bend your knees if you need to, but I want you to reach down towards the ground. And just relax. Relax those muscles. Bend your knees a little if you need to. Do it near something for balance if you need to. Now put your hands on your knees. Come up to a flat back. And then slowly come up. All right, good. Next, I'm going to talk to you about a little self-myofascial release. And there's a lot of things you can use in your home if you don't have anything. Lots of people do have foam rollers, though, I've discovered. I know a lot of you have foam rollers. But if you have a tennis ball or a rolling pin, actually works really well. But I'm going to start off with a tennis ball because these are pretty common in the home. And I'm going to turn this down to my feet. I've got kind of all of my modalities here. But I'm going to do this next to something where I can hang on, a countertop or a chair. And I want you, and you can even do this seated, but I want you to take that ball and really roll it, starting like in the ball of your feet. So kind of roll it up and down each of your toes. And you're going to notice how many tight muscles you may have in your feet. Now roll it kind of on the ball of your feet, back and forth, and then all along the arch, all along the outside, all along to the instep, and then get that heel. So you want to get all parts of your foot. So you can take that, and you can even just sit on the couch with this at night and sit up, roll it underneath your feet. It feels really good. Now let's do the other foot. So you're going to roll it along the ball of your foot and then up and down each of your toes. And then get into the mid part of your foot. Roll it along your arch, all along to the outside, the outstep of your foot. And then focus on any areas that you may feel extra tightness. You may need to spend a little extra time. If you have plantar fasciitis, this is a great thing to do. It can feel a little painful, so start gently. But this is a really great way to help release some of that fascia all in your foot, your plantar fasciitis. That can be really painful and really debilitating. And this is a really good way. This is a great therapy for that. So all along your feet. Now, moving up, if you have any pain along your legs that you feel like rolling it out, you can use a foam roller. And you can kind of lie on the ground, and lots of times you see people doing IT band rolling, and you don't necessarily have to use a foam roller, but it's really helpful if lots of people have this tightness. So you can kind of put one foot over top, roll along, all along the whole length of the side of your leg. You can do that on both sides. If you have any gastroc or hip tightness, you can kind of find that spot. Now, if you don't have a foam roller, the other thing you can do is use, I have this, it's called the stick. It's a running type of modality, and you can use that. If you don't have this, a rolling pin works perfectly. I actually have a rubberized rolling pin, so it's not quite so painful. But you can use that on any sore muscles. Or even if you don't really feel like you're sore, you can just kind of take some time, bend up your leg, roll out your calf. There's a lot of ways you can use that rolling pin or your stick and just do a little self-therapy. Take care of yourself. Roll the front of your leg along your anterior tibialis here and your hamstring. Make sure you get both sides. top, your quad. The key is to try to relax that muscle. So that's why you bend up your leg, like for your hamstring and your calf, so that you can relax that muscle. That muscle is in a relaxed position so that it can really just kind of take the full effect of that massage. We aren't really able to get out and get massages right now. And this is a great way to do some self-care, some self-massage to those muscles, especially if you're used to getting regular massages, or even if you're not. I haven't had a massage in years. So this is really beneficial to releasing those sore muscles. Then you can also do your upper body. So I have a tennis ball, like I said a little bit ago, but I also have this other trigger point ball, which a lot of you use in the gym. And I'm going to show you, you can use your tennis ball, first of all, like this. You can kind of massage all along different muscles that may feel tight. You can do your forearm, your hands. I get a lot of hand tightness for whatever reason, especially right in here, this area right here. So if you feel like you have a thumb turning in, or if you have a lot of arthritis in your hands, you can use this ball to just kind of roll in your hands and really just kind of focus. You can use one hand to focus on one area and then use the other hand to roll it along other areas. You can focus on those flexors and your extensors. Just experiment with it. Find some areas. If you find an area of tightness, you can roll along that spot. Okay, so I have this ball, which if you have any upper back tightness, you can also use a tennis ball, or you can use a foam roller, and I'm going to show you. It's hard sometimes to lie on the floor and really figure out how to roll your back out, but I'm going to show you here against the wall how you can do this with a little less intensity. So I'm going to take this over here. And first, if you do have a foam roller, you can stick the foam roller against the wall like this, and then you can kind of roll back and forth, finding any areas of tightness. Like if you have any shoulder tightness, you can roll against the wall. It's easier than trying to support your body weight on the floor, and it's less intense. So you can use this against the wall. If you have any neck tightness, you can bring that up. You can kind of turn it to the side to, you know, if you have any of this upper neck and trap tightness, to really kind of find that spot and roll into it. If you're not able to do that, or if you have some specific spots that are a little higher, using a ball and pressing it against the wall like this, and then a lot of times using a ball of some sort, you can really get into those trigger points a little easier, quite a bit easier actually. So you can use a racquetball or a lacrosse ball. Lacrosse balls are a little denser. My son uses a lacrosse ball for rolling out after running. So you can find your spot with a ball of some sort. You can even put the rolling pin on the wall like this and use the rolling pin. Actually, that might work even better than the foam roller because it's smaller and you can pinpoint that area. So find your spot. If you find that spot, hold it there. Don't press too hard. There's sort of a fine line of finding that spot, taking some deep breaths, holding it for a good 20, 30 seconds, and then maybe rolling on, and then kind of roll around it, kind of roll back and forth. You can even kind of roll up and down, and then try to do your other side. You may find you have one side that's tighter than the other. That's pretty typical, especially if you have, you're right or left-handed. You may have more tightness in one side or the other. But move it down, if you can move it down like in between your shoulder blades and really get all those tight muscles wherever you may be feeling tight. But this is a good way to work on releasing some of that fascia and releasing some of that muscle tightness, especially since we can't get massages right now, wherever you are feeling that. So if you have a ball like this, try it. Try a rolling pin, try a tennis ball, anything you can to kind of work on your specific muscle tightness. The other thing is you can take a tennis ball and roll it under your calf muscles, which also feels really good. So you can do all of your feet rolling, and then take that tennis ball and put it right under the belly of your calf and just roll back and forth like this. That feels really good. You can do that on your hamstring. You can kind of move it up and down on your leg depending on where you have any tightness. You may not feel like you have any tightness until you start doing this, and so you may feel like, oh, I need to do a little more of that. So you play with it. If you don't have anything around your house that you can find that would work, send me a message and I can help give you some ideas. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, if you have a fit ball, let's just do some final cooling down here. None of this has been very extreme, but sitting on a fit ball can help open up your hips. Again, if you have any balance issues with the ball, do it next to a chair or a coffee table or a firm sofa. But just sit on that ball, good posture, and rock back and forth. This can feel really good if you have low back pain or hip pain. Just relaxing, letting their hips kind of settle into that ball and open up. Your pelvis can open up. We're just going to rock back and forth, good posture. And now we're going to add some circles. So we'll go maybe 10 one way. Really feeling your back and your abdominal muscles work. Trying to let your hips move, not letting your whole body move around like this. So just keeping your upper body stable and working on just some hip circles. This can feel really good if you're experiencing any back pain. So we'll go all the way around about 10 times. And then notice where you might feel tightness. You might feel some tightness and not be able to, get a full range of motion. So maybe work on that a little bit every day. You can do this every other day. You can do it every day. All of these you can do. Just with the rolling, if you do roll yourself out at all, drink lots of water. So that helps flush everything out. It helps that fascia work better. Okay, now to end, let's just do some side reaching on the ball. So keeping that good posture, reaching side to side. And notice I've spread my feet out really far so I can get a good balance. Reaching side to side. If this hurts your back, keep it here. You can reach a lower range of motion. Taking some nice deep breaths. And then let's end with some big arm circles. Deep breaths. Continue to take care of yourself. Work hard if you can. If you haven't been working hard, that's okay. Maybe use this to get back into it. Take care of yourself and use anything you have around your house to help roll those muscles out. Do a little self-massage, a little self-therapy. And if you don't have any of these things, that's okay. Like I said, message me and I'll help you find some things. You can use lots of different things around your home to help. So have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you again next time.